It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Boston, what up? Worcester, what up? Fall River, I ain't going there. Quincy, what up? Franklin, what up? Marlboro, what up? Lowell, what up? Providence, Rhode Island, what up? Foxborough, what up? Northbridge, what up? Cape Cod, what up? Shout out to Buzzards Bay. Framingham, what up? Natick, what up? Malden, what up? West Roxbury, what up? Cambridge, what up? Shout out to them stucks. Shout out to them trucks still stuck on Storrow Drive. Make sure you got that clearance, or your truck gonna lose to the bridge. Stay up and honk in traffic jams with our friends. Only one way out of this place, like that Allman Brothers song. We never get out. These Mansfield lots are a train wreck. The town wanted the benefits of an amphitheater revenue, but they didn't want to have traffic go through their town. So we're stuck here till 2 a.m. Oh, that was rough. What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Oh, I don't think you guys could hear that. Hold on. Oh. You guys couldn't hear my guitar probably because I turned it down. Anyway, welcome to the D&B post show stream. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. But I wanted to get this stream in. I am back at the crib and wanted to talk about this show. I think it's important to know the context of what Mansfield is if you've never been there, because, you know, if you haven't been to this venue and you're questioning why fans left early, there's actually justifiable reasons why you should leave Mansfield early. If you've never been to Mansfield, you may not understand what I believe is uniqueness to the fan base that is, you know, even though this venue did have 2 shows at one time, it is a fan base that loves the classics, but not necessarily like they love Satellite tonight. People love Satellite. Some people went to the bathroom, but anything from Under the Table and Dreaming and Crash, this band's catalog, that's a hit. Mansfield absolutely loves. Mansfield loves Watchtower and other covers like that maybe when you go to a bigger venue, you may say, no, we want we want a deep cut. We don't want another Watchtower. We don't want another Sledgehammer. Those hit big here. Every day hits big in Mansfield, and it did tonight. And there are a lot of fans that only go to Mansfield and that's it. There's a lot of venues like that, but you know, you may think, oh yeah, like people who, you know, grow up in Hartford, a lot of them will travel across to other venues because, you know, New York is, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours away for Jones Beach. Homedale maybe 2.5. And then they can go up to Mansfield. They can travel to SPAC, and everything is very central. And all of that considered, this show was essentially full, sold out. Like there may have been tickets that physically weren't sold, but this venue was absolutely full. Even though fans left early, even though there's a lot of casual fans, even though some fans were on their phone. Well, I guess I was recording the show too, but nonetheless, there were fans that just weren't paying attention. There were fans that were yapping, and that happens at a lot of venues, but that happened tonight. Fans yapping. They're in bartender, yapping. Bro, they're playing bartender. And people still yap. At least by me in the mid pavilion. Or upper covered pavilion in section 7. And there's great people that had fun too. But this is a unique venue. And so what I'll say off the bat is that the first 4 songs were magical to have all those songs in a row. So Right, Fish Tender, and then Warehouse. The encore was super unique. Very unique. Need to step my adjective game up, but very unique. And that was awesome as well. The middle, No Jimmy Eat World, was interesting. But at the end of the day, this band is trying out new stuff. And that's something that I can't appreciate. There was no Jimmy thing tonight. There was no Louisiana Bayou tonight. There was no You and Meh tonight. Those songs have ghosted the set list as they should be. They should be deadbeat set list dads and never come back to the set list. Just playing. Now that I know some of you guys like those songs. But that's what we have to keep in mind too. This band is this year is different, guys. And many of you guys know this. They come off of Europe and they literally have a couple of weeks to prepare for a full-fledged summer tour. Maybe not the best execution, or maybe in retrospect, I'm sure the band is like, hey, we're scheduling this stuff, promoters, like we're not doing this ever again. Nonetheless, they are finding ways to be creative, and I think this past week has shown that. You look at the Jones Beach and Homedale shows, which to me were phenomenal as far as how unique they were. And that Homedale show was just, I think it was the best show of the tour. So while there were some weird things, this was a unique show. It was weird. I, first of all, had a good time throughout the entire show. I love seeing this band, but that's not going to stop me from saying, all right, guys, chill. Like, people, every show, oh, this is the best set. Like, guys, chill. Because these are two separate things. I had a blast at this show. I enjoyed the physical show, not the parking lot after. But at the same time, was this an all-time best set ever? Absolutely not. Chill, guys. Chill. Because it's like every show, people, oh, next live tracks, next this. No, this was not a live tracks. But that's okay. They took risks. They trialed and errored. And what has been a struggle at times, I think this tour for the band, is the encore. They had a very unique encore. Is it the best encore of the year? Probably not. And that's debatable. That's all subjective. But I love the effort to play Some Devil, then Why I Am, and then Crash Into Me. And as much as I don't like certain songs like You and May, I actually do enjoy Crash Into Me coming in because it doesn't get played that much. The middle. So let's look at the middle. Funny the Way It Is a fine song when it's in between bangers. Right? But when you go from Warehouse to Funny the Way It Is, and then you don't have another song on the other side of Funny that just knocks my socks off, that's where the momentum starts to shift. So Proudest Monkey, which is a beautiful song. Let's not get that wrong. But Proudest Monkey into Satellite, and it was supposed to be a satellite fake, but they play the full satellite, and before that you get a full Proudest Monkey. It's always gonna kind of slow down that momentum. But if it's a moment of Proudest Monkey, then you go into something else. You fake Satellite and do something fun. That's different. Now, will it go around? Will it go around in circles? Was a fun moment in the show for the crowd overall. But this is where I would love a satellite fake into like a fun DMB song. This show had no Before These Crowded Street songs at all, which was interesting. And again, it was different. It was unique. If you came to this show and you had been to a bunch of shows, this show was going to certainly feel different. I know people like to say, oh, the band always plays a different set every night. You never know what you're going to get. But some shows seem familiar. This show, you couldn't say, oh, this show reminds me of that. I mean, maybe there is one or two shows, but I can't think of a show that I've seen that had this type of show flow, which in some sense you could say just allows for a different experience. But this band is going to trial and error. This band has a very odd flow here where they go from Mansfield, Mass to Northern Virginia. Like, it's just kind of a disjointed thing. I remember a couple years ago they did Hartford and then Something in the Water Festival, but even that's slightly closer because Hartford's 90 minutes closer. Now, none of this really matters as much when the band is taking the PJ down there, but I still think it's just an odd weekend to have Mansfield and Bristol like this back to back. And for fans, typically these type of weekends, you're going to be able to drive in, 3 to 6 hours from one place to another. You can't. That's not the case with this. This is going to be more than 6 hours to go from Mansfield to Bristol. So hopefully everything, I don't know what they're doing rig wise as far as if they have the second rig set up in Bristol or on its way, or if they're taking this one. I don't know what the crew is doing, but the crew's got to get to Bristol. I don't know the logistics, but this is definitely a unique weekend. But again, I cannot stress enough, I enjoyed being at this show in person. I just don't think it's a top show of the tour. I would give this show a B minus overall. And a lot of that is due to, first of all, the reason it's in the B range is because that So Right fish tender warehouse opening. The reason it's not higher is because of the funny the way it is. Prada's Monkey Satellite, Will It Go Round in Circles, Only Thing, Gravedigger, Everyday, Rooftop Run. That just was odd. I don't mind the Only Thing. I don't mind Rooftop. And Gravedigger it's okay. But even like putting a Say Goodbye there in the drum solo would be fun. So this is a unique show where I had a great time, but this isn't an all-timer. And Mansfield is very unique, like I said, because of that ability. Like the fans, there's fans that have been here for 20 plus years seeing shows, barring pandemics and caravans and other things, Dave and Tim years. They've been to almost every show, but again, they want the hit. They want even like a What Would You Say? Because that was one of the first major singles that DMB put out. That song always goes wild at Mansfield. I think there's opportunity to have a two-step. I think but again, who knows? Maybe they're saving it for tomorrow. Maybe it's not in the cards for the way, Carter struggles with it at times. And maybe they just say, hey, not now. I don't really know. But I do know this band is trying new things. And my boy Zach, I got to give him credit. He said this is the number one as far as song rarity rank. This is number one for the Almanac. You can look on there. They do a couple calculations to determine song rarity based on previous shows and this current show and what songs are played, how rare they are overall so far this tour. This is number one. But this is not, to me, the number one show. So people who want they want song rarity, and that's they live and die by that. This is a great example of it's not just song rarity. It's about show flow and song selection as far as being a top contender of a set list. But this was a good show. And I think also that Lie in Our Graves at the 17th spot was crucial to just really bringing power to the end of this set. 27 and Lie in Our Graves, when you look at the Squirm, 27, Lie in Our Graves are kind of the real big things that helped maintain that B grade as we got to the end. Gray Street is Gray Street. I don't mind it. But it's not an X factor for me in a show like this. And that's really where I'm at. I'll have to, listen back, digest it a little more, but it's not a bad show, but it's not the best show in my opinion. And again, I know there's overreaction on various sides for these type of shows. I mean, I feel like in Reddit, every show is the best show ever. And people, I've been to 60 shows. This is the best show. Like, like this is cool. This was fun, but it's a long list of shows that I think, at least for me as someone who likes deep cuts, Mansfield always comes just ever so close to really being a breakout, at least in this single night era. But I think the crowd was really into this show, and they played right to the crowd. I'm just speaking on behalf of the fans who like to see some of these songs come out of the woodwork, want to see more deep cuts, want to see even some of the stuff like Crashing to Me is a hit, but it's placed in the right spot and it hasn't been played as much. And so that's a great thing that they have that. And fans are kind of still waiting on songs like Alligator Pie or something like along those lines of we haven't heard this in a while. And the band hasn't really got there yet. But again, this touring is interesting because, again, they just Europe, boom. United States, boom, like just limited rest. And I'm sure we'll see some changes next year where, hey, they're not going to play a full European tour, or like they're not going to go to Australia, which I really hope they do at some point. But this isn't sustainable. And I think we'll see some stuff where even the overall summer tour is condensed or shortened. I think to throw together a weekend where you have Mansfield and Bristol is just stretching it a little bit, even with the amenities that this band has as far as travel. Buddy Strong rocked his Celtics Jason Tatum black and green jersey. He is a Celtics fan. He posted a picture on Instagram when they won the NBA Finals, and so he was excited to rock his Boston Celtics gear in the metropolitan area of Boston, statistical area of Boston. This is certainly, if you're not from here, this is certainly not Boston proper. You have to take a train from Boston to get here. You can't walk, or I mean, you could Uber in theory, but you're literally 20 plus miles south of Boston. This is very woodsy and suburban. And speaking of that, if you're coming back from this show, you're like, why is the traffic so bad? If this is your first Mansfield show, this is another example in the long list of New England towns, and I guess towns across the country, but I know New England better because this is where I was born and raised. But you have a town that wants the tax benefits, wants the revenue from hotel revenue, all that type of stuff. They want that revenue from this type of amphitheater, and this amphitheater built in the 80s was built in a way where it didn't interfere with the town's traffic or build up the town so that they could have larger roads to get people out. And so what you have is nearly every single driver outside of special red lot routes to get them out more efficiently. Almost every single driver is going and taking a left out of this venue and then having to go towards the highway. And so it's not uncommon for there to be no movement in the free lots for at least an hour. You're waiting an hour just to see if you can move forward an inch or two. Even some of the other lots, if you don't leave during the encore, you're going to be stuck there for an extra hour, if not longer. And so that's where this venue is very complicated for. Again, this is a venue that has a capacity just under 20,000. And I've been to Patriots games not too far from this venue, and I've gotten out quicker. In with 65,000 fans leaving the Patriot Place area and Gillette Stadium. So this is a venue that, again, just has some unique challenges, has a unique fan base. It's a long running amphitheater as far as its relationship playing, having D&B come to play, but they really want the hits even more than SPAC or Hartford. You notice that with the crowd. All right, let's look at the poster. So I'm going to pull up the poster. This is from DKNG Studios. And let's see. Here it is. And I thought this was a cool poster. I mean, anytime you have a woods theme and a light up into like a tree stump, essentially, it's something that is going to just resonate with it kind of giving you the venue's original name was Great Woods. So that's, that people still call it Great Woods. And you have this wooded area and a golden opportunity to open this door of the tree stump to find a new world. Ken Dog 0311 says, "What's up, brother? Just jumped in. Traffic must have been a nightmare. Was it Tampa-esque?" The exit is always, it's very Tampa-esque. If you guys don't know, the Tampa show this year, my first Tampa show, but it was also a graduation on the Tampa Fairgrounds, which is right next to the venue. Literally, you can walk from the venue to the Tampa State Fairgrounds, or sorry, just the Tampa Fairgrounds. And the exit is always worse. It's just there's so many cars being pushed one way onto Interstate 495, and then that splits off into 95 for people who need to turn around or go 95 north or south. They can use 495 as a way to get there. But it is just, it's a different type of beast. Because when I was at Tampa, for the most part, I waited in the venue, met some friends, and that I couldn't see before because I was running late. And then by the time I got to my car, the lots were empty. They got everyone out of there pretty quick. And rush hour didn't exist after the show. So no, Ken, it was not. It was actually worse than Tampa. But that's every year. That's every show. Even other shows at this venue have you just, people literally go back to eating tailgate food for an hour and a half, and then they get in their cars and see where the line's at. One thing you can't deny about this show as well, the band was on, like, they sounded great. I know people point out Dave's voice and all that, but I just think the band overall sounded great. I thought the only thing is just another great example of a song that fits the entire band. They kind of really messed around with this kind of outro to the only thing that's not part of the album, where you get some horns, some sax. And I really like what Rashawn did with that, and Jeff did with that the horn and sax combo. That just sounded good. And the band sounded good, in my opinion. There may have been some miscues, it is what it is, but I think they just sound great. The overall sound, Tim Reynolds soloing seems much more leave space. You can still shred here and there, but leave space. His soloing, I think, I'm liking it more recently. Last Friday at SPAC Night 1, same thing. He's playing more feel versus just playing robotic scales, which has its place as well, but balance is important. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be varying opinions, and don't be afraid to share. I know most of you aren't, but don't be afraid to share your opinion, even if it's contrary to mine. I want to get a pulse of what people are thinking and saying. So put it in the comments. If you're watching this video after the live stream ends, just still put it in the comments. And I want to know what you guys thought if you were there. If you're first time Mansfield attendee, if you've been to almost all of them, or maybe someone's been to all of them, let me know. By the way, this Rush shirt was a huge hit. And sparked up some great conversations with people. Was fortunate enough during this Rush 40 tour to see Carter Beauford and Neil Peart in the same month, which is really cool. Or actually weeks apart. I don't know if it was the same month, but it was weeks apart. And very cool these are two drumming legends, icons. But that's really all I have right now. I need to get some sleep. Let me close out. I'm going to close out the show with, in a second, with some music from the encore, so you guys can get a feel a little. I mean, you guys heard on Sirius XM Radio, Dave Matthews Band Radio Channel 30. Of course, all you guys watched it there, but you'll get some visuals with my video at the end of this. There was a set list. Let me see if I can. There was a set list that Jeff had where he crossed out a song, and that was between Rooftop and Squirm. I don't know what that song was, but it's on Jeff Coffin's page. So interesting. I think one of the big shockers just know before these crowded streets. I know they've gone shows without playing one of the notable albums of the band, but just to throw in a Stone, a Pig, even though Pig was recently played, I think it would be a huge thing for me and for others if they incorporated something. But hey, sometimes they skip a full album. So we'll see. Also, I do want to just shout out my grandparents. I was hanging out with them earlier today. And it's just a blessing to be able to have them. They are approaching their 90s. And I found this cool thing. It was on Twitter at their house. I don't know if they just swapped it out, but at their house they have this very cool plaque. All right, here it is. Here they actually got the key to the city of Medford, Massachusetts. My grandfather was a pastor for many years from the 70s to the 90s, retired from pastoring, went to be a mechanic, fixing souls to fixing cars. But then he got some calls to intern pastor when he was just like turning 70. They were like, hey, this church had some fraudulent stuff with their previous pastor. There's a lot of lack of trust. People are hurt. People need guidance and direction. And my grandmother and grandfather, my grandfather was the intern pastor. My grandmother was right alongside him. They hopped in to pastor a church in Medford, Massachusetts. The mayor of Medford gave them the key to the city because they literally changed cultures. They impacted families who were hurt and had struggles, and they did things to help them. And so this is, my grandparents live not too far from the Mansfield venue, up 495 in Worcester County. I believe they're in Worcester, not Middlesex. They're in Worcester County. And so these shows, I always try to make it a effort if I can to go out to see them if possible, because they're not too far down. I got to spend the pretty much the day with them, which was awesome and special. Shout out to my grandparents. And this is the foundation of, even though I'm dead tired at 3 a.m., when you talk about me giving my opinion, to share things, my parents are amazing too. Don't get me wrong, they taught me a lot, but my grandparents, they taught me how to give, how to serve in a way that they were literally interning at this church as I'm a teenager. And they're, hey, we want you to speak to the kids. We want you to speak to your fellow teenage peers. And they'd put me on the spot, and during my summer vacation with them, 13, 14, 15 years old, I'm speaking in front of kids my age from the Boston Metro, from Chelsea, and from Medford, and from other areas, Malden, that were coming into this church in Medford. And I'm learning how to speak to people that I just literally may have met or don't know. And so a lot of the stuff, the confidence to be able to come on here and all that stuff, comes from spending time with my grandparents as they were in their retirement years, pastoring and leading a bunch of different churches that had scandals and things like that. My grandfather had, I think, 2 or 3 churches he was the intern pastor at. So anyway, just a quick side note. This area, this Massachusetts, this just outside of Boston and Massachusetts area, is an area I literally, from being born to being a teenager through right before through a little bit of high school, I was out there. I spent weeks out there with my grandparents, and they taught me how to lead, how to serve, how to listen. And these are important things. And sometimes, you don't always have the pleasure of meeting grandparents, or you don't know other relatives. and that can be tough. You may have relatives now that are sick, that are have, they may have a terminal illness, and I mean, I've lost more friends than I have lost grandparents. And life is weird, life is cruel, and I miss those people that are no longer with us. But cherish family even over Dave Matthews Band. Cherish your loved ones, cherish your friends even over the setlist, because we never know what can happen. We never know. I know there's been various people. Kit Kat Sam, Mansfield was the home venue of Kit Kat Sam, and it looked like people. I know people had shirts on that reference Kit Kat Sam. I don't know if that was Sam's family, but even in that situation, the band has done a great job honoring certain people, fans who have fought valiantly against things. But life is short and sweet for certain. So enjoy the shows you go to, even if you don't. Like, I love to laugh off Bayou now. Don't panic too much. You miss a show, you didn't go, you really wanted to see those songs, or maybe you have fatigue from shows. It's okay. Life goes on if you miss a show. But one thing that is, to me, just as important, more important actually, is family and loved ones and friends who are like family. So cherish those moments, some of them even at a show or outside of shows. Some of you guys, I always see, sadly, posts of people who can't make a show because someone's ill in their family or they're ill. And it's tough, it's difficult, but I hope those who couldn't make it to this tour because of those reasons are able to make the next tour. But anyway, shout out to my grandparents. They're awesome. And those are all my grandparents are awesome. I have 3 left. But those are my dad's parents that are out there in the Medford, that were volunteering in Medford, but they're in, Worcester County. All right, enough of that talk. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Talk. That's all I do. We're going to close out. I'm going to play you some of the end of Why I Am into Crash Into Me. And if you guys have videos, message me from Mansfield. I'll eventually get to a multicam if there's enough footage from fans. If not, I'll just do a single cam of the video I got. I'll upload some of these videos individually and collect. I might do that like the fish tender together. I may do the first 3 as a video. So right, fish tender. I may just put that up, the raw footage I took. But eventually I do hope to make a multicam of this. So if you have video from Mansfield, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter/X, you can message me or at me or let me know, hey, I have footage. Dropbox, Google Drive are the best ways to send it to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and close out with this music from tonight. You guys can see. All right, peace.
Thank you.